We are finally closing in on these corrupt politicians, guys.
Recently, we released an investigation that discovered that the Biden White House made prolific use of an Autopen device to sign pardons and other presidential documents. Given President Biden's lack of mental capacity and proof that he himself was not signing the documents, President Trump has declared those pardons to be null and void. Now, this applies to the last-minute pardons of the January 6th committee. And Senator Schiff has stepped out, but this would apply to his pardon as well.
And if any of them were hoping he forgot, he was here to remind everybody yesterday, no we're coming after your ass. Hopefully, Act Blue, the Democrats' illegal scam used to raise money, including from illegal foreign contributions, is being looked at by authorities. The Dems only know how to win by cheating, something they do better than any other group or party in history. But now, with their terrible policies and candidates, and with people like crooked Adam Schiff, who demanded a full pardon from Sleepy Joe leading the way, it's almost impossible to reach their money goals. The USA is wise to these scoundrels and crooks. Also, why did the Autopen give Schiff a pardon? Biden knew nothing about it. Who operated the Autopen? That is the biggest question being asked in DC. They almost destroyed our country. They should be in jail. I mean, he's not wrong. And this Autopen situation might all be connected. Let me show you how. You guys remember how Act Blue has been connected to just about every Democrat in the media, even those you wouldn't expect?
We had a lot of problems with Act Blue. And most all of that was all refunded.
No,
that doesn't.
Ridiculous.
You've never had a day where you maybe donated 53 times?
No.
Okay.
No, not anything even remotely close to that.
Okay, so some of these, did you approve them all?
No.
They think you won't notice it. Yeah, but she didn't donate to them. They just get the information from your credit card and pass it to the next person. Once you sign up with Act Blue, that's their tactic.
So how much did Jasmine Crockett receive through Act Blue anyway? How much money are we talking here? $870,000! See, I think Act Blue here is the corporatist establishment's way of laundering foreign money into politicians they select while making it look like grassroots donations. Hey, yo, let me know in the comments how much you want to bet Adam Schiff's grassroots donations through Act Blue are just as dirty as Jasmine Crockett's. And there is a lot pointing to this being a reality. Democrat fundraising powerhouse Act Blue facing internal chaos as at least 7 senior officials resign. The exodus began late last month, according to an article from the New York Times. What prompted so many long-time Act Blue officials to leave is not clear.
How much is the money?
$86,708. Does that number make sense to you?
$86,000.
Yeah.
Max, I did that.
I still feel bad for that lady, dude. She sounds like her entire world is ending hearing $86,000.
21 and 22, do you think you gave over $30,000?
No. I don't give $200 or $150.
None of the former officials agreed to be interviewed on the record. The exodus set off deep concerns about Act Blue's future. Last week, 2 unions representing the group's workers sent a blistering letter to Act Blue's board of directors that listed the 7 officials who left. The letter described an alarming pattern of departures that was eroding confidence in the stability of the organization. Does that not sound like rats leaving the sinking ship to you? The connections here are ridiculous. Check this out. Both people who made attempts on Trump's life were identified as Act Blue donors. Is that insane? Not to mention that back in 2023, Washington state analysts found thousands of illegal election donation mules donating millions to Act Blue. Their thousands of donations added up to millions of dollars by supposedly unemployed Americans to the super PAC. And that's not the only thing. See, Trump has demanded an investigation into who and how the Autopen was used, and that is very relevant because of the way it intersects with Biden's cognitive decline and some of these sweeping pardons, including Adam Schiff's.
After Trump lost the election, after he lost in the courts, he and others around him cooked up this scheme to try to get the vice president to overturn the election, to violate his constitutional duty, and they put this massive pressure on him to do so. The president whipped up his supporters to the point of violence on January 6th, putting the life of his own vice president, someone who had been loyal and dutiful to him for 4 years, put his life in danger.
You guys remember that? Adam Schiff's role in the documented, systematic attempt to shut down the opposition party? Kind of like what France did to Marine Le Pen. Almost like it's a playbook. Now, how is this all connected? When I step back and I look at these two systems together, alleged foreign money getting laundered through Act Blue, getting corporatist preferred politicians in place. On the administrative side, using systems like the Autopen to obfuscate who's making decisions, allowing corporate access to a direct legislative pipeline. From lobby-friendly politicians more than willing to strike a deal, to access to the executive branch and the flexibility that comes with the executive order system. I mean, essentially, between Act Blue and this whole Autopen situation, you've got direct corporate access to every part of the legislative process. Buy a bill, get it passed, and you can pay to have it signed on the desk when it gets there. You combine that with Biden's cognitive decline at the end of his administration and how vested the corporate system was and not even acknowledging it, there starts to be a very clear picture being painted that places these rhino Republicans and corporate establishment Democrats as part of the same cohesive system with a singular corporate-friendly agenda. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on this one, guys. You rock. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.